Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new edition of Africa Today with me, Al Hamalawi. A variety of topics taking place here in Egypt and in the African continent. And we start with the main events that actually took place yesterday here in Cairo, in Egypt, where the mummies of 22 pharaohs walked the streets of Cairo on Saturday evening in a procession from the Egyptian Museum on Tahrir Square to the new National Museum of Egyptian Civilization, NMEC, in Al Fustat. The event actually marked the official launch of the NMEC, and we have more details on this magnificent event in the following report.
A procession of floats carried the mummified remains of 22 pharaohs, including Egypt's most powerful ancient queen, through Cairo Saturday evening in an eye-catching parade to a new resting place. Under hefty security, the mummies were driven on floats 7 kilometers across the capital, from the iconic Egyptian Museum to the new National Museum of Egyptian Civilization. Dubbed the Pharaoh's Golden Parade, the 18 kings and 4 queens traveled in order, oldest first, each aboard a separate vehicle decorated in ancient Egyptian style. Both pedestrians and vehicles were brought from Tahrir Square, site of the current museum, and other sections of the route. Images of the sleek parade and an equally carefully choreographed opening ceremony were broadcast live on state television to rousing music. The mummies entered the grounds of the new museum to a 21-gun salute after a slightly shorter than expected journey time of around half an hour. Discovered near Luxor from 1881 onwards, fascinating new details of the pharaohs' lives and deaths are still emerging. The new resting place, the National Museum of Egyptian Civilization in the Fustat district of Old Cairo, consists of sleek, low-rise buildings topped with a pyramid amid expansive grounds. The mummies will undergo 15 days of laboratory restoration before they are showcased individually in their new home in an environment redolent of the underground tombs. They will be accompanied by a brief biography.
And the IMF has said that Africa needs carefully calibrated domestic policies and stronger support from the international community to recover from the COVID-19 crisis and return to its path of stronger growth. And we have more details in this report.
International Monetary Fund Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva and Domitien Ndihokubwayo, Chairman of the African Caucus, issued a joint statement after a meeting of the African Consultative Group, which includes senior representatives from 12 African countries. They said the key priority remained to significantly scale up COVID-19 vaccine production capacity and accelerate vaccine rollout, but it was also essential to prioritize policies to help protect livelihoods and vulnerable groups. Africa remains gripped by the COVID-19 health emergency, which triggered its worst economic shock in decades and saw millions of people fall into poverty. While oil-rich North Africa was expected to grow faster, the recovery was likely to be much slower in sub-Saharan Africa. They noted that per capita incomes in many countries were not expected to return to pre-crisis levels before 2025. They called for transformative policies, including increased investment in digital technologies and climate-resilient infrastructure.
Aid workers say that risk of famine is looming in Nigeria as a decade-long insurgency in the country's northeast shows no signs of abating, and access to people in need is becoming more challenging. More details.
4 senior officials from international humanitarian organizations have said that the response to the famine crisis in Nigeria is being crimped by worsening security, direct targeting of humanitarian staff, and also mistrust and military-imposed restrictions, claims the government denies. The Lake Chad region, which includes parts of Nigeria, last year suffered a roughly 60% increase in militant violence, leading to 4,801 fatalities, the highest death toll linked to fighter groups in Africa. According to the Africa Center for Strategic Studies, a U.S. Defense Department research institution. Aid workers say that as a result of insecurity, almost no one is operating at full capacity. Yet the number of people in emergency acute food insecurity in northern Nigeria is likely to almost double this year, according to the UN. For those worst affected, food, cash and other items are distributed by local authorities, but a large part of aid provision in northeast Nigeria is done by the UN and 150 local and international NGOs.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we have now with us over the phone Mr. Abdallah Kajama, founder of Hope Forum for Peace and Empowerment. Good day to you, Mr. Kajama.
Yeah, good afternoon, Howard.
Good afternoon to you, sir. How do you weigh the significance of the parade that we have seen yesterday, the magnificent event of the Royal Fairs, the Golden Royal Fairs Parade?
Yeah, firstly, well, congratulations to Egypt for this great historical day. Really, all Africans in Egypt are very happy to this great occasion that happened yesterday. And this is not only for Egypt, this is for all Africans. This is because if you see this year, the African Union title is African Cultural Year. That means that Egypt don't only work for Egypt, but it is a very well-known country in Africa, and this makes us to be happy, we Africans, not only Egyptians. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And in your opinion, how would such an event impact the tourism sector?
Really, if you see the way the event was organized, if you see the problems we are facing in the world, this COVID-19 issue since 1 year back, and all this didn't stop Egypt from growing up, didn't stop Egypt from development. I think Egypt try to do a very well-known, what do you call it, great works that help and guide Egyptians. I mean, the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and all Egyptians with their hands try to build this great country that is a great country in Arab and all Arab and African countries. Really, we are grateful with this things, and we are happy for Egypt with this, and we pray that Egypt will develop and our country too will be developed in the days coming. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And sir, how would such an event impact the tourism sector in your own opinion?
Yeah, if you see the ancient something, Egypt always try to manage the cultural something with the new look. If you see the way the program was held yesterday, and if you see the presence of the presidents and the presence of the ministers and the world, what we call it, visitors, I think this will make Egypt to be great. This will bring more awareness to Egyptians that they will know their culture, and we Africans and all the world will know continuously the Egyptian ancient, what they call it, history. I think this makes us a history that was thousands years. It makes us and now if you see the way the new look of the ancient things with the new technology, with the new issue, you think, I think Egypt tried to manage the new look of something in the ancient, what do you call it, history. I think this is a great work that that Egypt tried to manage it, and this will bring more, what do you call it, visitors to Egypt. This will make Egypt to be a very unique country in Arab and African countries that will bring the beautifulness of what do you call it, of the history, and will make more people. And I'm calling all Africans, and not only Africans, all the world to come to Egypt to see these great, what do you call it, historical issues that we live in Egypt for some years, and we try to visit these places that makes us to feel that we are sitting in a place, very quiet place, very clean place, very beautiful place that will make your mind to be rest, and you'll feel happy when you visited that place. I'm calling the world to come more and more to Egypt to see this beautiful, what do you call it, history, things the way we see it here.
Mr. Kajama, now the African Union has dubbed the year 2021 as the Year of African Heritage. How does this event fall in line with this objective?
Always, I'm telling to my African, what do you call it, colleagues, the youth, that Egypt always is number one. If you see, for African Union to call this year as Heritage and Cultural African Cultural Year, and the same times, only last month, this occasions of African Union was done, and after it was just 1 month, Egyptian to open this great museum or this great issue of history. I mean, then the Egypt is calling Africa to come to Egypt, all Africans to come to Egypt and see the real African heritage. I think this heritage is not only Egyptian heritage. This is African, real African heritage, because the history of Egypt is the history of Africa. It's not the only history of Egypt. We are happy for that. And we are calling the African Union to make this year to help or to organize a big, or I will say a unique, what do you call it, occasion that will that Africans will come to Egypt and know or see this real African heritage here in Egypt.
And how do you think the African peoples received this event yesterday?
I think people are even calling me that they are very happy with this issue. We know that all Egyptians know that Africans love Egypt. All African countries love Egypt and see Egypt as one of the real, or one of the what we call it, developed African countries here. Last 2 years or 3 years back, if you see the way Egypt tried and to manage many issues in African Union, I think the President Abdel Fattah Sisi, last 2 years, he is the chairman of African Union, and I think if you see the way he tried to manage in 1 year the African Union and to bring some changes and to make many things happen in Africa, exactly, and especially the youth. If you see the youth, African youth are very happy with this occasion, are very happy with President Abdel Fattah Sisi. We are even calling him youth president because he loves the youth, he loves the women, and he tried to make youth and women to be developed. And I think this is the way that we called all our presidents to do the same, because the youth and the women are the real backbone of the what we call it countries. Then I mean all African youth especially, and African people are very happy to Egypt, and we are all happy to Egypt, and we celebrate with Egypt this great occasion.
You just mentioned a little while ago that Egypt's history and civilization does not only belong to Egypt but to the whole African continent. So how can Africa as a whole benefit from yesterday's event?
Yeah, African will benefit because if you see the Aswan, what we call it, Nubian history, if you see, you will see all these histories has the same history with Sudan, has the same history with great African countries, and if you see the way great what we call leaders of Egypt, from Jamal Abdel Nasser coming to President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, you will see that these presidents try to make Africa to become one country. They try to make Africa to become one room, and I think the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is trying his best. He's trying his best since the first day in his office, since 2014. I think President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi always he's trying to see Africa to become great, and we the youth are supporting him 100% to make Africa to be great with the leadership of our presidents, the Nigerian president, the Egyptian president, all African presidents. I think they are guiding and they are helping the youth, and we the youth, we are supporting all our presidents, and we are supporting President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the African youth, for Egypt to be great and for Africa to be great.
Okay. Mr. Kajama, in your opinion, how has the African tourism been affected by COVID-19?
Yeah, African, I think in Africa since last year, all what they call it, the visitings and etc. travelings all stopped because of this COVID-19. And I think even Africans now, if you want to travel, you have many things to do before traveling. You will go and have that what they call it, test of COVID-19. You will have many process for you to travel, and we know that African countries are well affected with these issues. But now I think with this great occasion that happened yesterday, President Abdel Fattah is trying to open or reopen these new issues that will make Africa to be. And this is a sign that shows us that COVID-19 is moving away, because for we to in this occasion show us that even in COVID-19 things are going well, things are developing. Countries like Egypt are developing. Even if we have a problem, then Egypt is developing. That shows us that the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, an Egyptian, show us that COVID-19 never stopped them from development. And I think our country and African countries will take the same way, that no challenge that will stop us from development. Africa can do more than that. Egypt can do more than that, whatever the case. And I think this shows us that peoples will be happy, people will be visiting things, and with these issues, I think COVID-19 will disappear.
I'd like to thank you very much, Mr. Abdallah Kajama, founder of Hope Forum for Peace and Empowerment. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us in this edition of Africa Today. I'm Hala Al-Hamalawi. Many thanks for watching.